If you're an athlete, young or old, the only 3 things that you need in a hydration drink when you are working out for prolonged periods of time is glucose, sodium, and potassium. Everything else is not as important as it be marketed or seemed to be. I coached a lot of young athletes and I always preach to them, get carbs in and get sodium in. Typically, they already have enough potassium, but yeah, potassium can't hurt. But you need it in such a small amount in comparison to the glucose and salt or sodium. I think the ratio, if you look, it's like 5-to-1 of salt to potassium that you need. And then again, depending on what you're doing, how long you've been doing it, and the conditions of the outdoors, depends on how much glucose you're going to need as well. Of course, like body type and all that factors in as well. Typically when I'm training, I am, for reference, 5'9", 69 inches, 190, 195 pounds. Typically when I train, it's for hours at a time. Right now I'm doing a 45-minute ruck, so I carbed up before I went, and I'll probably carb up again when I'm finished. So when I'm training, let's take it for the summer conditioning guys. Before I go and train with the boys, I am supplementing my water with an electrolyte powder from First Form. It has a great mix of what I need. It just needs a little bit more salt. So I take a literal salt shaker or a thing of salt that I buy from the store and just scoop in a little bit more. I don't really weigh it out, but I know that it needs more because the ratio is about a 1-to-1. And again, you're looking for a ratio of about a 5-to-1 or 6-to-1 of salt to potassium. So again, 6 parts salt, 1 part potassium. And then there's a bunch of other little micronutrients and minerals and things that are in that powder that I need. But again, most of it I probably get through my diet anyways, of eating, meat, some vegetables, and a bunch of other things that I add in and supplement with outside of what I eat. So I try to get a nice, well-balanced meal. Those definitely fill in the gaps. But again, I get in the electrolytes that I need, and then I'm carbing up. So I'm either having a piece of fruit, an apple, a banana, grapes, blueberries, typically kind of whatever's in season and what kind of I'm vibing with for a month or 2 months at a time. It's not always the same thing. It does change up. Recently, I've been on a big organic nature's fruit sticks. And just pretty much just like fruit puree bars that are about 15 grams of carbs per stick. And I'll have about 30 to 40 grams before I train with the boys. And then I'll probably also have a scoop of a carbohydrate powder, which is 25 grams, or 2 more sticks of the fruit bars, which is another 30 grams while I'm training. So all in all, before I train and during, we're looking at about 70 to 80 grams of carbs. And again, that's just what I use. That's what I need. Other people may need less. Other people may need more. Again, depending on your body size and all that good stuff. And when I take my electrolyte powder, either with the carbs or without the carbs, that is also replacing more of what I'm using. I typically, in my pre-workout, add a few cracks of salt because again, the salt is the most important nutrient that you sweat out. It is literally what allows your muscles to contract and to perform. So for all the misconceptions about salt being bad and salt not being good for you is a lie. You legitimately need salt. Now, if you're somebody that's completely sedentary, you're probably not going to need as much salt. You still need some. You need some potassium, you need some other vitamins and minerals, but in much smaller quantities if you're not using them up throughout your day. But I highly recommend that you do some physical activity and replace what you sweat out. Very important. So that is just my little tidbit on hydration and making sure that the next generation of athletes takes care of their bodies and performs at their absolute best. Thank you guys for watching. As always, peace. Much love.